So, you want to own a data center, buy some land, build a giant windowless box, fill it with server cabinets, then collect rent from companies that really cannot afford for those cabinets to switch off. No shop front, no shelves, nobody asking for the manager. Just thousands of machines quietly producing recurring revenue. Sounds suspiciously easy, and according to the brochure, it is. The brochure gets quieter around the $120 million you might spend before opening. The grid connection that can take years, or the electricity bill that arrives every month whether your spreadsheet feels confident or not. Because a data center isn't really a warehouse full of computers. It's a power business, a cooling business, a property business, and a network business squeezed into one extremely secure building. And the product is something you cannot touch: certainty. There are three broad types. An enterprise facility is built by a company for itself. A hyperscale facility serves enormous cloud and technology customers. And a colocation facility rents cabinets, rooms, or halls to many different customers. Colocation is usually the version independent owners imagine. Customers bring the servers. You provide the building, power, cooling, security, and connections. They pay you to keep everything available. But they aren't mainly paying for floor space. They're paying for power. If a customer reserves 500 kilowatts, you must be ready to deliver all 500 whenever they need it. Even if they're using much less today, you cannot sell that reserved capacity again. So two identical cabinets can produce completely different revenue. One may contain a few low-powered devices. The other may be packed with processors consuming several times more electricity. Same cabinet, very different tenant. Servers don't care about windows, natural light, or parking. Power, however, they have opinions about. So you need reliable electricity, multiple fiber routes, planning approval, security, and access to the customers and networks you plan to serve. Buying the land may be the easy part. The hard part is persuading the grid to treat your building like the small town it effectively is. Then construction begins. You need transformers, batteries, generators, cooling, security, and miles of cabling. Nearly every critical system needs redundancy. The utility supply needs a backup. The backup needs another backup. And everything needs testing just to confirm it isn't a collection of metal boxes offering emotional support. If utility power fails, batteries carry the load until generators start. If cooling fails, another unit takes over. If a fiber route is cut, traffic needs another way out. The servers do not wait politely while you arrange a repair. They switch off, and several important people immediately learn your phone number. For our example, imagine a 10 megawatt colocation facility costing $120 million to build. None of that money earns anything until customers sign contracts. The first revenue stream is the monthly charge for cabinets, private space, and reserved power. Multi-year contracts create predictable income once the building fills up. Then come services. Installation work, security, technical support, and remote hands. Remote hands is when a distant customer needs somebody inside to move a cable or restart a server. Yes, sometimes global infrastructure really is pressing the button the customer cannot reach. Then there are cross connects, short cables linking customers to each other or to network providers. The cable may be a few meters long. The invoice tends to have greater ambitions. Cross connects turn the building into an ecosystem. More customers want access, while existing customers become reluctant to leave. Moving a cabinet is easy, moving its live connections and dependent systems is not. Now let's put some numbers around it. Assume our 10 megawatt facility is 85% contracted at $200 per kilowatt each month. 8,500 contracted kilowatts would produce about $20.4 million in annual colocation revenue. Add services and total revenue might reach $23.5 million. This is where the spreadsheet starts looking rather pleased with itself. Then the electricity bill arrives. Servers consume power, but so do the cooling, pumps, fans, security, and electrical systems keeping them alive. Operators measure this using PUE, or power usage effectiveness. If customer equipment uses 6 megawatts and the site operates at a PUE of 1.54, the facility consumes roughly 9.2 megawatts. The extra power isn't running customer software. It's preventing that software from becoming an extremely expensive toaster. Over 1 year, the facility would use around 80 million kilowatt hours. At 8 cents per kilowatt hour, electricity costs about $6.4 million. Some contracts pass that cost to the customer. Others include it in the monthly price. If energy prices rise faster than customer charges, a full building can still produce a shrinking profit margin. Add roughly $4 million for staff, maintenance, insurance, security, and other site costs. The facility might retain around $13 million before corporate overhead, depreciation, financing, and tax. Sounds excellent, until you remember the original investment was $120 million. Even in this optimistic model, simple payback takes more than 9 years, and this assumes the customers actually arrive. A data center costs money as soon as equipment is installed, interest accumulates, and maintenance continues whether the hall is full or empty. An unsold megawatt isn't just unused space, it's millions of dollars of equipment producing no revenue. Operators reduce this risk by signing customers before construction finishes, but large customers know how valuable that commitment is and may demand a lower price. Filling quickly can reduce risk while also reducing the income from each megawatt. The spreadsheet may assume the hall fills in 12 months. Customers are not legally required to respect the spreadsheet. Here's the optimistic version. The grid arrives on time, customers sign early, occupancy passes 80%, energy stays manageable, and new connections make the building harder to leave. In that version, a huge capital project becomes a machine for producing recurring cash flow. Now consider the realistic bad year. Construction runs late, a major customer delays its move, and occupancy stalls at 60%. At the same price, base colocation revenue falls from $20.4 million to $14.4 million. Services earn less too, but the debt, security, maintenance, and most of the staffing remain. Maybe electricity prices rise at the same time. The project presentation may contain several confident arrows pointing towards future growth. The transformer has not seen the presentation. The same building that looked like a cash machine can become an extremely secure warehouse with an extraordinary electricity bill. There are more risks. Losing one large tenant leaves a huge hole. New hardware may need different power and cooling. Regulation delays expansion. Transformers take painfully long to replace. Then there's the risk every customer actually cares about: an outage. Customers aren't renting cabinets because they admire the building. They're paying for the promise behind it. The power stays available, the equipment stays cool, the connections stay active, and their businesses keep operating without anybody thinking about the data center at all. So, can owning one make you rich? Yes, but not because you own a warehouse full of computers. It works when you control scarce power, build at the right time, sign reliable customers, and create a network they do not want to leave. Get those things right, and a plain windowless building can generate millions in recurring revenue for years. Get them wrong, and you may own the most expensive empty warehouse in the city. That's the strange thing about this business. When everything works, nobody notices you. When something fails, everybody does.